Previously on Season 2 of True Theater Radio.
Who are you? Answer me.
I am the destroyer of all things. I will have my revenge.
My blade is yours to command.
Well, being a princess has its perks.
Right now, I'm here because I want to be here. This place found me, and I love it here.
8 years ago, my visions began. Terrifying fantasies of things to come.
Okay, I believe you. Let's play a game.
I keep seeing something, then nothing.
Have you thought about trying to communicate with it?
It's a metamorphic mutation. It's like an ordinary mutant in that it's genetically different from its parents, but a metamorph goes one better. It keeps changing its genetic structure again and again.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me!
It's happening! It's happening here and now!
Death is only the beginning.
I want to hear you scream.
Faithless coward.
Stop! Stop, you creature of the night!
Fool. You would reject my gift. I shall make you suffer.
Everywhere I looked, I saw blood. I felt like someone was there, but I couldn't see them. Then all of a sudden, he started attacking me.
He's coming to tear out your eyes. He's coming to tear out your eyes.
You've never had anything like this.
You got some sort of overactive imagination or something?
I adore these bunch of rascals.
Give me a break.
Happy birthday!
Golly, this is a proper feast. Classy, armed, and dangerous.
Oh, sweetie.
Incoming message.
People of Earth, obey, or I will be forced to make an example of you.
I tore a hole in our universe, a gateway to another dimension. A dimension of pure chaos, pure evil.
Raising shield.
Activate force field.
Must change the mode.
Let's get back to the ship. I want that analyzed.
Doesn't look friendly out there, but you should be able to breathe. What's in the box?
Hell. Do it now! Don't let him escape!
There is no escape.
Okay, cool. Fun.
All right.
It's fun. I like it. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of True Theater Radio. After a very short but very well-deserved break after that crazy awesome second season. You guys, it was the time of my life. I couldn't be more happier with the way things went. It was great.
Oh my God, it was so epic. So much freaking work, but it was so worth it.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was like my fingers. They were constantly typing new stuff. We were constantly finding new. I mean, the flood of people that came in with these amazing talent for acting and and even people who was like, they were sending us scripts and stuff like that, and we are like, man, this stuff is amazing. And we, you know, everybody who was a part of it.
And we've actually created a revenue to keep this going full time. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, we've been able to do this full time, and we've been actually making enough money to, you know, pay for actors and writers for the work that they put into it. Because I mean, it's like, sure, I know everybody's in here doing it for the love of the show, but you know, if we can show our thanks to the people that have put their time and effort into it, that feels awesome. And the fact that, and to be quite honest with you, with what we're wanting to do, with what we've done, it really is a full-time job. I mean, just think about writing it, acting, editing, produce. I mean, everything. It is a full-time job. And if it's not a full-time job, then it's hard.
I definitely know that it's been Jonah's dream to make this his full-time occupation. And because of you, that is now a reality. And I get to be a part of that.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
And I mean, like I said, I'm not getting rich off of it by any stretch. I mean, this isn't about making money for me. This is about having enough income to keep doing it. That's it. That's the only reason why. I mean, it has nothing to do with, you know, clearly nobody's making tons of money off of podcasting unless you're the Rogan, but hey, it's just enough to where we can keep going. But I mean,
it's more about doing what you love and not doing what you have to do. Like you're doing something that you love, and we're making a living doing something that we actually enjoy and something that you can enjoy, and it's just a win.
Yeah, exactly.
For everybody.
So, I mean, we've been able to, even on Joshua's property, he's got a little plot of property here in the town that I live. He just basically wanted to put some his liquid assets into something that, you know, nobody could steal. So he bought a chunk of land right up the street from me, and it actually has a storm shelter, and we've actually been able to completely convert that into a full-on sound studio that's underground that nobody even knows is there. And of course, because it's underground, it's completely soundproof. It's perfect. And it's like, you know, there's just been all kinds of fun stuff we've been doing and things. And like I said, we've just been keeping the dream going, and it's been fantastic.
It's all because of you.
No, it's not. It's because of everybody. It's because of everybody.
I was talking to them.
Okay.
I wasn't
now
talking
that we're
to you.
keeping it real. Oh, stop. It's not me.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you guys.
The main problem that I had was how many people we had to turn down because we just couldn't handle that much talent.
I know, and it was one of those things where
amazing.
It was kind of we started to see the forest through the trees when we first started it, and we were like, oh man, there's so many people that want to be a part of it, but we had never factored in. There's some people we just got to tell. You know, you got a big fat E for effort, but we can't use this. You know, it's you know, that's just the way it goes. And you know, we want people to be able to be a part of it, even if it's just listening and saying, "I love the show." I mean, you're still a part of it, even if you can't, you know, be producing part of it. But it has been, but the people we have been able to have on, it has been more than a blessing for everybody who's been a part of the show, and it's been absolutely amazing. And I mean, we tapped into like every single genre. I mean, we were doing sci-fi, horror, drama, comedy. I mean, we were just every single time we were like coming up with something new, and it's just fun to let your mind conceive of.
I'm just happy of how many lives we've changed with some of the stories that have been written.
Yeah.
Like people's lives have been changed, Doris.
Oh, I know. I mean, it's like for us as a community in general to finally have a voice that's not just talking. You know, it's been a real, you know, it's been more than I could have ever asked for, and it's been amazing. And to be able to witness everybody that's had something in their lives changed because of just our little show has been incredible. And I just want to thank everybody. I just want to thank everybody out there who's been a part of it. You know, whether you've been an actor, a writer, a guest on the show, you know, even if you just sent us a couple of bucks, I mean, just to keep the dream going. It's been more than anything I could ever ask for. And I can't tell you how good it feels for us to have accomplished season 2 of Truth Theater Radio. And oh, by the way, we officially reached 10,000 subs on YouTube. I mean, can you believe it? It's pretty freaking nuts, which, you know, in the scheme of YouTuberness isn't like insane, but you know, 10,000 people, that's like several large auditoriums. So I don't take that as a small number, in my opinion. And I'm just ecstatic about it. So I don't know.
Yeah, it was awesome. I think what I liked most about it was how many people we got to meet and the community we got to build from how many episodes we did and how it just seemed to flow. You know, it was amazing.
Yeah, it really did. It really did. Everybody was like, it was unlike, because I've worked in LA before, and you have these people where they're like, you know, everybody's out trying to get theirs. You know, there's not anybody that's on a set that's not trying to add something to their portfolio or something like that. It's like, this is different, where people are doing it because they simply just like being a part of it. And that's something that is very unusual to the, I hate to say it, entertainment world, because I don't even like the word entertainment. This is, you know, this is just modern day storytelling. So, yeah, and the people we've gotten to meet, they've all been part of it. It's been awesome. It's been absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it's been great.
So,
can't wait to see what's going to happen in season 3.
Yeah, but I mean, even though Trump lost, I mean, that's something a lot of people get frustrated about. But I mean, luckily the elections aren't real anyways.
Wait, no, not now.
Are we able to stop it? How can we stop it? It is happening. It is happening again. It is happening again. It is happening again. The beginning is the end.
The end is the
The end is the beginning.
The end is the beginning.
A day or two from doing this exact episode, and we weren't expecting to come back to the shit show that is now 2025. So,
the New Orleans 9/11.
The New Orleans 9/11. And for all of you any of you who don't know, haven't listened to some of our previous episodes, we are both from New Orleans, and Joshua is currently in New Orleans right now and has been for the last several years. But so we are intimately connected to what is going on right now. And it was funny because my wife texted me this morning. She's like, "Oh, have you heard? Oh my God, have you talked to Josh yet?" I'm like, "No, why?"
Joshua.
Yeah, Josh. Well, she says Josh, and I call you Josh. Yes.
That's funny.
Everybody else say it. Have you talked to Josh Uwa yet? I'm just gonna call you Uwa from now on. Who needs Josh? I'll just call you Uwa. But
I'll take it.
She's like, "Have you talked to Joshua yet?" And I'm like, "No, why?" And I'm like, she's like, some trucking it out, running into Bourbon Street and killing some people. And I'm like, so, I mean, that's sad, but so a drunk person in New Orleans on Bourbon Street on New Year's not exactly a big shocker. And it's on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. I mean, it's sad, but I mean, I'm not going to make a special call to Josh about it. But I decided to text him anyways, and I was like, Becca asked me to tell you, to see what happened in New Orleans. And then I am now giving Joshua a call.
Well, here's what happened. I did hear that from you, and because when you said that, though, there was an accident on Bourbon Street, and I thought to myself, I was like, what day are you talking about? Because it's like, name a day. It's like there's always something going on in New Orleans. There's always some kind of crazy accident, some weird thing that's happening.
Well, yeah, New Orleans always has something happening. I mean, it's
always,
unlike
always.
For any of y'all who haven't been there. I mean, there truly is no city like it in America. I've been to a lot of cities and I've lived in a lot of cities. New Orleans is like its own country. It is so different than anywhere else in America that you can't compare it to anywhere else. And when there's crazy stuff happening in New Orleans, that's just another day. So when I mentioned it, he's probably thinking not much of it, just like I thought not much of it. And then he calls me because I don't watch TV. I'm doing stuff all day. I don't really watch TV. I certainly don't watch the news very much. And that's when he.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in our crew, the people who would listen to the show, don't really watch the news so much. It's more like the aftermath we watch it. And I was not keeping my mind on what was going on in the day-to-day. And when I heard this, I was like, okay, this is going to be another thing. And then I'm like, oh, this wasn't just a low thing. This was a terrorist attack on my city. And then that's when I hit you up and explained it. It was like, no, this wasn't just a car accident. This is actually what is labeled a terrorist attack. So.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, oh, geez, are you freaking kidding me? And I'm like, it's New Year's Day, which even my wife knows I don't give two rips about pretty much any holiday. And New Year's is almost on top of the list as far as ones that I really don't care about. Primarily because I'm sure a lot of people have done their homework and things like that as far as like what the calendar is. And New Year's as we know it is all a fabrication to begin with. And so we're celebrating this thing that whatever the powers that be have decided is New Year's, is this thing on January 1st. So I'm thinking, okay, so now January 1st is hit and something has happened. I'm like, well, I got to go check on the news and see what's going on. And
wait, before we get any further, maybe you should explain to people why I sound like garbage also.
Oh, well, that brings another thing, is because currently my brother is on just his cell phone, and that goes into a whole nother a little pre-part of this whole thing. So my brother and I, we ended up getting a small inheritance from my grandmother. Nothing life-changing, but just a tiny bit. And why don't you tell them your part of the story, because that's the relevant part. I'm just giving them a little bit of pre-part to it.
Oh, yeah. So basically, what happened was I had anybody who can look this up. It's actually a historic building and a historic club in New Orleans it's just called the New Orleans Athletic Club. And it has been my dream to be a life member of this club forever. And it usually always just seemed like rich people get this, but it takes a chunk of change to drop on it. And I was like, I'm just going to do something for me. I'm going to finally do that. And I got this membership, and I have a private locker. This place is gorgeous. You can look this place up so I'm not just this. It's an amazing, amazing building. And I have my own private locker, and I actually have a there's actually like phone booths in there that I can use as a recording studio.
Well, just
So
to
I was
give
gonna start doing.
just to give everybody a quick little idea, everybody think of it as like old world Tartarian construction type building, and they turned it into a club and a gym.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's like if Tartarians were in working out, where would they work out? That's what it feels like. It's incredible place. Well, in my private wood paneled locker is all of my recording stuff in my computer. So I don't have a phone. Like I just have to use my phone now. So it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and the place is within the vicinity of where all these events have happened. So essentially, all of your gear is locked up.
It's literally 2 blocks from where this happened. 2 blocks.
Yeah, and if anybody knew Joshua at all, this is par for the course for his entire life. It's like anything that happens, and we can go on for days of stories of things like, things are starting to look, I'm starting to be on the bright side of life here. Boom. Nope. It's like, so anyways, you ended up buying a lifetime membership to this thing, to this place that you've been dreaming of. You've been telling me about it for years.
Yeah, years.
Everybody, he's been telling me about this place for years, and all he's been salivating on is having a lifetime membership to this place. And he got it, what, a week ago? A week and a half?
A week ago. No, it's more than just a lifetime membership. They put my name on a brass plaque and say thank you for this. I'm not even joking. It's like crazy. So you get to be a part of like New Orleans history.
Yeah.
It's something that I really wanted to be a part of. And
the place has like its own private bar and everything. I mean, it's like, you know,
that's made of copper.
It's nuts. I mean, we can go on and on about it, but y'all can just look it up and just to get an idea of it. But the point of it is that he's, after wanting this place for so long, he finally gets it, and then this happens, and then he can't even access it, and then who knows, he might have to scan his ID card just to get onto the street to get to the gym in the future. Who knows?
So that's yeah.
But anyways, so with that said, going back to us finding this out, it was like, I was like, oh shit, here we go again, because this kind of had the same feel of what happened with me when it was 9/11, when somebody came to me and they were like, oh, well, a plane flew into the World Trade Center. And I was like, I thought it was some drunk guy with a Cessna that just was trying to do some tricks and ended out crashing into one of the buildings. I didn't even think anything of it. It wasn't until hours later I decided to actually look at a TV and see what in the world was happening. This was the same thing. I hear first thing in the morning, didn't think anything of it, go on, and like every news channel is blowing up. Even BBC is blowing up in England with what's going on in New Orleans. And I was just like, oh, geez. It's like,
yeah,
here we go again. And we're going to be waiting for the world to be probably going a little bit crazy. And I'm not really much of a doomsayer about any of this stuff. I'm really more of I'm looking at it as more of I'm just observing, because I don't want any of this stuff to really affect my day-to-day, which ultimately it doesn't. But it can and it will for a lot of people, and I'm not even saying 100% that's what's going to happen, but it has that feel. Nonetheless.
Well, it's definitely going to affect my day-to-day.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm like just before we get any further, I just wanted condolences to the families and everything that's happened, because these people have been like actually hurt. In fact, my roommate was there last night, and he had the craziest thing happen where he was with a girl, and she had a panic attack 15 minutes prior to it happening, and they got off the street and went to their car, and then this whole thing happened. And so this girl having a panic attack, she must have had some kind of energetic thing that happened, because she just must have known something was going down, and they all left. and it could have saved their lives because they were literally on the exact block where everybody was getting run over and shot. And so he got home safely. And I just want to say that, like, we're not just like, I'm not talking about my gym membership. The gym membership was mostly a thing to talk about why I'm on the phone, as opposed to like being on a microphone or being on my computer, is because, I can't get to my freaking computer right now. And that was the whole point. But
yeah, that's the whole point of the story. I mean, it was a mildly funny anecdote as far as like this whole situation is concerned. As far as the weight of everything that's going on, I mean, even my wife, I think it was her friend's cousin or something like that. He's currently in New Orleans right now, and was staying 2 blocks from where this was happening. So I don't even know where he's at right now, but I mean, I know I've heard he's fine, but I'm sure that doesn't make anybody's vacation any better. But especially with the footballs going on and everything.
Yeah, all the sports balls. It's like that's like, that's what I'm starting to wonder. It's like this was specifically targeted because today was supposed to be the Sugar Bowl, but they canceled it and they moved it till tomorrow. And then we have the Super Bowl coming up, and it's just kind of and then right after that is Mardi Gras. So it's like you have to understand, it's like it would make sense that this kind of attack would happen because there's so many people from around the world coming to this little tiny place in what I think is a very special city, but that's why. Like, that's what's happening. So like that's how you freak out everybody. That's what's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I mean, I'll just say it like I sees it, and some people might get upset. Some people are already on board with where I'm going with, but this isn't something that is a big surprise to anybody who's in the know about it. I personally believe that this is not some single guy. I mean, it's all a repeat of what has happened in the past, and there's all the signs are there for it. I mean, there's all kinds of things that are already looking completely ridiculous as far as this thing is concerned. I mean, the very fact that anybody who also knows that Trump had a Tesla Cybertruck explode outside of his hotel room, his hotel in Las Vegas today. A Cybertruck. Anybody who's seen one?
Wait, that happened today?
Yeah, on the same day. This is all happening today. This is all happening today. So Trump has a Tesla Cybertruck, and anybody who knows what these things are, everybody should know what they are. They look like a prop out of an old bad 80s sci-fi movie. I mean, they're ridiculous. I've never met a single person I know who has any sense of reality that's like, oh, those things are really cool. I wish I had one. They're always like, they look ridiculous. Whoever gave the thumbs up for these things to even exist. And this is the truck. This thing is the thing that blows up in front of Trump's hotel. And they're already looking at it that this is possibly a terrorist attack. And it's like, looks like fireworks are going off on the inside of it. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, if it's a terrorist attack, why is somebody going to take this insanely overly priced vehicle and blow it up? You couldn't find some jalopy that ran to go blow up in front of Trump's tower. You're gonna buy a Tesla and blow that up. It's like, come on, seriously?
I heard those things are like heirloom costs. Like, nobody of any kind of means is going to be able to buy this thing to use just to blow up.
Yeah, nobody. I mean, it's the very idea of it is just preposterous. But then, and here's the thing, everybody. This is something that's a little, I have, after a lot of thought and a lot of looking at the way things have been going in the world, and I've been looking into this stuff for far longer than I've been doing a podcast. I mean, I was kind of one of the originals, like probably like the same year after 9/11 happened. I've been looking into all of this stuff for a very long time, and I'm starting to get to the point to where a lot of this stuff can absolutely be real and absolutely not be real at the exact same time. And I'm not even going to go into it. It's a little hard to explain, but there are too many things that are going on that are lining up that aren't necessarily planned. It's just the way this matrix that we're living in kind of just works. And it's almost like a sign that that's how it's like the code showing itself a little bit. Like and the first thing I noticed was when I heard this was a terrorist attack in New Orleans, I was like, well, what's the date? The date is January 1st, 2025. What's January 1st? That's 1125. 112 2025. Essentially, that equals 9/11. The whole thing. And then Josh noticed that it was at what time was it?
It happened at 3:15. So the 15 comes to 6, and there's a 3 6s, so 666.
Yeah, so you got 666 for the time. Now, here's a little bit of a thing I wanted to kind of bring up that I had my own little personal epiphany about. And I was thinking about this probably about 6 months ago. And I've heard, and I'm not the originator of this part of the idea. I don't even have anything to back it up. I've just heard it from a few people that there is evidence to show that it's possible that September 11th in 2001 was the actual new year for that year. And then that was some kind of big grand finale for the new millennium. 2000 wasn't the new millennium. 2001 is the new millennium. And even in Seinfeld, they kind of made a joke about it. He's like, well, the new millennium doesn't start till 2001. There was a whole episode based on this, and there was like a big, thing about it. But
did they really? I haven't seen that episode.
Yeah, there was an episode where it's like Kramer was having a millennium party, and he scheduled it for 2001 because the quote unquote idiot Kramer thought that the millennium started in 2001, which it does because the ending isn't 2000. It starts on 1. But anyways, going into this whole thing was, and I'm sure a lot of people have noticed it, was that the 20th century was decade after decade of mini resets. And it was almost odd. Even when I was younger, I thought it was odd. It was like every single decade, when it was over, was almost like an instantaneous, okay, the 60s are over. It's now the 70s. And everything looked like the 70s. 70s is over. It's now 1980. Overnight. Guess what? Overnight. Almost overnight. It is now officially the freaking 80s. When the 90s happened, it's the freaking 90s. 2001. Nothing. Everything has felt exactly the same since then. There have been some things happen in the world, but there hasn't been anything that I've been like, oh yeah, remember the aughts? It wasn't like the 2010s to 2020 had anything of any kind of significance that made you feel like, oh yeah, I remember the 10s. The 10s were totally better than the 20s. It's nothing like that. It's been a total dead standstill. And I'm going on to make this point about this little observation I had. Was I think it's possible. I had mentioned this to Josh. I said I thought Joshua.
Thank you.
I thought that this was the you could look at it as 2001 as like an hour, like every year has been like an hour of a 24-hour period. So from 2001 to 2024, I said, I have a feeling that after 2024, or at the very least right after September, the whole world was going to start, the loop is over, and now we're back to going off into something else. I have nothing to confirm this on yet. It's only time will tell. But it seems pretty weird that the very first day of 2025 starts with something like this. And it's pretty wild. So just like I'm saying, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's like with every big thing that happens, it doesn't really set in with anybody until a month later, when all of a sudden, who knows what could happen? Who knows?
Well, here's something interesting. It's like a lot of it's something that I've thought about quite extensively, because I always knew that New Orleans is a very spiritual, unique place. And if you look at the ley lines of where New Orleans is, it's a direct line to Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York, Boston. Like, it's a direct line all the way through there. And then New Orleans is actually on the exact latitudinal line as the Great Pyramid of Giza. So if you were to just like walk in either direction, you would run into the Great Pyramid of Giza. It's on the exact same latitudinal line. So this city has something to it that's extremely, I believe, is powerful. And
New Orleans is it's a magical city. I mean, it truly is.
Yeah, but there's something about it. Yeah, there's something. Yeah, and people have argued it's like the reason they call it the Crescent is because of the original Fertile Crescent. But what you're saying is that there's what's going on right now. It's attacking New Orleans because they got New York because it scared the shit out of everybody. But right now, this is more of a spiritual battle. And so that's why they're attacking New Orleans, because people see New Orleans as kind of a, this is where jazz was invented. This is where there's so much art and culture here, and it's being, I don't even know how to explain it, but it just seems odd to me. Like New Orleans, we're such a small city. We're so small.
Yeah, it's small, but it's also like, it's like when you watch a movie, it's like every single movie, every single TV show, now granted, I know it's like, okay, LA is where everybody makes the movies and stuff like that. And so every single movie just, happens to be set in LA. Like it's the freaking center of the freaking universe. Even if they make an animated movie, it's set in LA. I'm like, you're telling me you can make anything you want in any universe you want, and these Pixar dogs just happen to live in LA. Well, whoop-de-doo. It's like they make it sound like it's the center of the universe. And it seems, even to this day, I've always felt like New Orleans has always seemed, it's very special to me because it has a feel to it that's unlike anywhere else. And yet, other than Anne Rice books and vampire novels and the occasional party movie or something, it's like you don't really hear about it very much other than people knowing that it exists and they really want to go out there. It's
actually somebody just made a point to me the other day, and he told me, he's like, the reason why, and this was before the attack, obviously, because this happened this morning, but he said this is the only city where everybody is trying to desperately hold on to the old world. Like, we're desperately trying to hold on to this.
Yeah, no other cities like that. They're always trying to build something else, tear down the old, make the new.
Yeah. Here we want to hold the old, and I feel like this attack was kind of like it might bring us into the same nonsense that everybody else is doing across the world. And in this country, more specifically this country. We can't say this about the rest of the world, but this country specifically.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's if that's the field, then I mean that it makes a lot of sense where there could be this whole element of the old's out, and I mean, especially when we're looking at this technocratic age, the very idea of anything being old is it's counterproductive to the system. It's like the very idea of holding on to the old. It's holding on to tradition. It's holding on to, I mean, let's face it, lineage, family. It's holding on to all kinds of things that this system is. It's anathema to it. It doesn't work. So the fact that something like this would happen, where the world is, it's kind of an attack on the old.
That's why that's why it's so ironic that I got this membership to this club, because I wanted to maintain something of the old. The building itself was made. This gym has been around since the late 1800s, and the building, I think itself, was from 1929. And it's like, now I can just, like Jonah made a joke about, I was like, now they're gonna have me do like retinal scans to get in there. It's like, yeah, I can see that happening now. Great. Here we go. We're going to try to shove the old world into the new.
Yeah.
Forcefully.
So the old world's going to now have, AI face recognition security cameras all over the place. Let's rip out these walls. We got to run some wire. I mean, it's going to be, it's gross. It's gross.
Nightmare. And all of in all the French Quarter it's old Spanish architecture, even though it was founded by the French, but it's beautiful, and it's old world. You can clearly see the beauty in it, and because this has happened, now they're going to have to we have to tear all this stuff down in order to make people safe. We want to make people safe now. And it's just going to turn into nonsense.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, at the current moment, we're clearly, this is quite literally day one, hour one of this whole thing, and we're doing a lot of speculating, but I just figured if there was anybody out there, and I'm not saying we're the only ones, but if there was anybody out there that has a little bit of a kind of an insider opinion about this whole thing, it's us, just because we're very close to the city and we've been there. We both grew up there, and everywhere where they were showing, it's like, oh yeah, there's Canal Street, there's the Walgreens we went to, it's all kinds of stuff. So we just like I said, we didn't really want to we didn't want to come back to something like this, but I felt it was important that we get on here and talk about it. But to shift gears a little bit, now that we talked about my brother's gym membership,
no, it's not about the gym membership. It's about what it is. It's about maintaining the integrity.
I know.
New Orleans, and I don't want New Orleans to fail.
That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. But what I'm saying is, like, as far as giving everybody a little bit more of a kind of just an idea of what, at least for me, what I've been doing and why I have, you guys, I have not by any stretch forgotten about this podcast. I've thought about it constantly, but I am one of these people, and Josh knows this about me, that when I start something, I become laser focused on it to my detriment. And with me, the short story goes is that we ended up moving to a small town. We ended up moving in with my wife's dad and her brother for a building that I helped them purchase. And the whole idea was for us to build on a plot of land that we bought. Well, that was never panning out. Well, now it turns out that a little over a year ago, something came up where this house came up for sale like 4 blocks away, and it was, I mean, all the LA people couldn't possibly imagine this, but the whole house was $4,000. So I told my wife if I burned the place down, the lot alone is worth more than $4,000. But long story short, I have been doing literally absolutely nothing other than gutting this house and coming across every number of nightmares that you could possibly think of, trying to get this place livable for me and my family to move in and have a place of our own, to where, you know, essentially I am back to being king of my own castle. And it has been nothing but a constant struggle. And as of literally October this year, we finally moved in, and it still has a lot of work to do. It's a small house. If I showed pictures of it, you guys would be like, geez, that's like a cabin, but it's not big, but it's mine, and I own it 100% outright. But I put every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears, all literally, into this place, trying to get over here. So that now that I'm back over here, back on True Theater Radio, I'm doing it from my own room, where I can safely say now we can get back to doing this, doing something that I absolutely love, and could not be happier about doing this right now, even in this very sad day. But the only thing we can do about it right now in this reality is we gotta look forward and just realize that today's another day, and we got to keep going with it. So, that's my little short story.
My thing is, I should tell everybody, is I'm like, I know right now it doesn't feel like as big a deal probably to everybody else in the country what's going on here, but I'm thoroughly hoping that it is only here, and that what I want people to do is just focus on, don't be part of the collective. Don't get wrapped up into what they're all doing, and don't get scared, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Be an observer, not a participator. That's like, we can observe what's going on, but don't. It's like, don't get it. Don't let it be something that that changes you. Don't let them win. Don't let them win by you changing because they did something. Right. You know. And I mean, it's like, that isn't to say real lives have not been affected, but if it hasn't affected you directly, don't let it. So, But anyways, I don't know what else there is to talk about, but I know I've been sitting around here messing around trying to get resorted with audio for the last several days. So I've been staring at this computer and this new mic setup I got and everything like that. So I'm kind of audioed out, and the very fact that I'm finally recording something is a big deal for me. And I'm glad to be back. And we plan on having more stuff. And I'm telling Joshua right now, the very fact that we're recording something means that it's official. We're back and we're doing something. We're actually going to be working on this. I'm looking at it as my second job.
Are you trying to call me out on the air?
Huh?
Are you trying to call me out on the air?
Oh no, I'm not trying to call you out. I'm calling myself out, because I've been swinging hammers and using saws for the last year, and my hands are worn down to the bone, and I want to do something that feeds my soul and not just my muscles. You know?
Right. Got it. Yeah.
You know, so like I said, I'm just letting you know that I'm going to be working my butt off on it. And I know that you're going to be working on it too. And we've just got ideas. And I hope that we can go back to our original dream of having you guys as the community come back and realize, oh, they're back. Maybe they won't crap out on us this time. And we'll get back to making more of that sweet, sweet audio drama that we all love so much. That believe it or not, especially after all of my, I've been doing a lot of reading up on behind the scenes as far as audio dramas are concerned. Let me tell you something, with the way we're doing it, it is unlike the way anybody else is doing it, because everybody else is hiring actors, getting production teams, all kinds of stuff. Even people that do it by themselves, they've already got a team behind them trying to do it. We're literally, it's me and my brother, and we're trying to basically be, hey, who wants to do some of this? And it's totally different. So, like I said, I still enjoy it. And whatever we have to do, we're going to make it happen. I don't care if I have to play every part in everything that we write. We're going to be making stuff no matter what. So, and we've already got stuff written, and we've already got some other stuff even produced. So, you'll be hearing back from us. So, anything else you got to say?
Absolutely. No, you said it. That's great.
All right.
I agree.
Well, everybody, this has been really awesome, and this has been another, and not by any stretch the last episode of Truth Theater Radio. And we are signing off.
Happy New Year, y'all.
Happy New Year, and may it truly be a happy one, regardless of the circumstances. All right. Well, everybody, that has been our show. It has been awesome to be back, and thank you guys so much. And buckle up, Season 3. We are...
Season 3, baby. We're coming at you.
We're coming at you with Season 3, and we already have things in the works. Your mind's going to be blown. Get ready. So, thank you again, everybody. We hope to see you soon. Have a good one.